Welcome back to another hour of Jazz Unlimited with Paul Anthony.
Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition, it depends on you. I never mind the rain from the skies if I can find the sun in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's because I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition, it depends on you. I never mind the rain from the sky if I can find the sun in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's because I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you.
Today we celebrate the life of Freddie Cole, who passed away on June 27th, 2020, at the age of 88. And in this hour, we're going to be featuring some of Freddie Cole's music, and as well as an interview I did with him on August 31st, 2013, at the Grand Hotel at Mackinac Island, Michigan. And we'll get to that in just a couple of moments. You heard Sometimes I'm Happy. This is from an album called This and That. Bootsy Barnes featured on tenor. And Freddie on this CD does not play piano, although he usually accompanies himself on piano. He simply sings, and John DiMartino acquits himself beautifully as the accompanist and soloist on some of the tracks. So without further ado, let's get to the recording I did with Freddie back in 2013. Hi, this is Paul Anthony. What you're about to hear is an interview I did with Freddie Cole, Nat King Cole's youngest brother, at the Grand Hotel over Labor Day weekend, and specifically on August 31st, 2013. This followed the Diane Reeves interview that you have also heard on this website. And there are some references that Freddie makes back to Diane, and that's because she preceded him in the seat, so to speak. And he will talk about Nat's discovery as a singer, also his feelings about being Nat King Cole's brother and how it was like to be in the shadow of him. Also, he talks about him doing stand-up. Very interesting. And in the Q&A, one of his high school classmates who played football with him asked a question. Very interesting encounter. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Freddie Cole. We welcome you. First time at the Grand Hotel, and hopefully not the last.
I hope not.
Now, just to give you an idea, there were 5 children in your family, correct? He is the youngest by 12 years. Does this look like a change of life baby here we're looking at? Use your imagination, okay? Freddy, you have had an illustrious career. When you think about the fact that his very first record, The Joke's on Me, was that right? 1952. Now, so often when we hear Cole, we think of Nat King Cole, which was your brother, of course. And you were much younger than he was, obviously, but how did the dynamic in the family work? Were they all musicians, your brothers Ike and Eddie, and your sister, perhaps?
Yeah, my whole family played music.
Yeah.
My father was a Baptist preacher. My mother was the musician in the family, in her part of the family. She had 3 brothers who were both all musicians. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. One was, the oldest one's name was Festus.
I love that.
Yeah. He was out of Montgomery, Alabama, but he played piano. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, did you start out playing in the church, or
No, I never played in the church. I was in the junior choir, mm-hmm. and all I wanted to do was go and play ball or do something like that. So we'd wait until we had a very important game that Sunday, and so I'd put the robe on, and after my dad would get up to speak, and then we'd slip out the back and go. And go to the baseball game, and we'd be playing, and I was the catcher. I turned around, and I was saying, "Yeah, baby, hit it right down." The catcher would be talking. Yeah. And I turned around, and then my father stood right over there. I was in big trouble.
I recognize that voice, right. So by the time you were able to know, I mean, you know, you were functioning and was a young teenager perhaps, where was Nat in his career at that time? Had he made it yet, so to speak?
Yeah, oh yeah. His trio was the hot thing then in the business, the King Cole Trio. And he set a trend that people are still following it as of today. You know, and it was the biggest thing that was happening.
Now, many of us have heard the stories of how Nat became a singer, even though he really started out as a piano player. Do you know the real poop on this? I mean, do you know the dope on this?
No, I really don't know. I remember one night after the Dodger game, I'd been to the game with Nat, and he was a big Dodger fan. And we were driving back, and we just stopped at this little place, and he told me this was the place where he first started out in L.A. And we went in there, and we walked around. They said the bar was here, and the piano, you know. So, yeah, I got a chance to see that place. But the whole story about how he became a singer, I can't give any validity to that because I wasn't there. I don't know about that.
Could you lie and tell us what you know? I mean...
Well, as the story goes, a guy was supposed to have come into the club and requested a song. And the song happened to be Sweet Lorraine. And Nat said he didn't sing. And so the club owner came up and said, you got to sing because this guy spends $3 or $4 a night in here. That's just how cheap the drinks were. So he sang, and the rest is, I guess, so-called history from your angle.
I'm looking for anybody's angle at this point because I don't know what's truth or what's not. But it's perfectly plausible, and most of the time it happens like that. Carmen McRae had the same thing. She was a piano player in Chicago, and somebody came up to her and said, you ought to sing, because she sang a couple of tunes, and, of course, everybody forgot about her piano playing after that. But, now, you've basically had a trio your whole life. You've traveled all over the world. You spent a lot of time in Brazil. How influential is the Brazilian aspect of your travels and music been?
Very much so. Like Diane was talking about the Portuguese singing, etc. I had thought to myself the first time that I did a CD in Rio, in São Paulo. I did a CD. It was called Freddy Cole Latino.
Yeah. Wish we had television there.
And we had some great musicians Brazilian musicians on the date, And they're very willing to help you and to get things going for you. And it took me a while, but I finally got it. But just recently, I got a thing in the mail. Somebody had put it over on YouTube or something, I said, I certainly hope nobody sees it. Yeah. But you do get that feeling once you start doing until you really get comfortable. If there's anybody out there that really knows what you're saying. But I find with Portuguese, once you get the rhythm of the language, because Brazilians don't talk, they sing. Portuguese, tudo bem.
I'm reading some material prior to this interview. It said in there, Freddie Cole sings and frequently accompanies himself on piano, and then also does stand-up. So I questioned him yesterday. I said, I didn't know you had a stand-up act. What do you do? What did you say? That's what the first thing he said.
No, he asked me about singing. I stand, I move from the piano to...
He stands up and sings, and he sits down and sings, okay?